Let's get going. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Thank you so much for giving us some of your time today. My name is Beth Walter, and I have with me Chris Marshall. Just to give you a little bit of background on myself, I've been doing automotive digital marketing for over 23 years. I've experienced at the Tier 1, Tier 2, and the Tier 3 level. And we're here to walk you through some of the really newest and coolest opportunities for marketing to in-market car buyers to come around since probably Facebook. So I'm going to turn it over to Chris to introduce himself.
Oh, hey, Beth, thank you. And yeah, it's a pleasure to be here with you on this call, talking about this very exciting topic, that being Amazon. And just so everyone knows, I head up the automotive retail / Tier 3 efforts for Oracle Data Cloud, and couldn't be happier immersed in this kind of the retail digital marketing environment. So I'm looking forward to the discussion here. And when Beth and I were talking before, she had told me that she was actually employee number 11 at Yahoo. And so I'm like, wow, that's amazing, because, you know, back in the day, I was actually on the client side for years. And I remember in the early 2000s when, you know, in the digital automotive space, like the Yahoo homepage takeover, Beth, was like the biggest opportunity. And that in itself was kind of like a spray and pray mode. So it's amazing how we've come since at those early 2000s. But again, you were employee number 11, and that's incredibly impressive. You didn't bring that up, but I wanted to make sure that.
Well, thank you. And that actually leads me to a really funny story, which was I actually ran the first ever digital marketing ad for any car brand, automotive, Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, and it was a Chevrolet banner that said baseball, hot dogs, apple pie, and Chevrolet, and it actually was run of sight. There was absolutely no targeting. And the best part about it was Chevrolet didn't even have a website. It didn't link anywhere. It just was a banner, almost like a newspaper ad. So to talk about the fact that we've come such a long way from back then in the early 90s, that definitely is the case. So let's get started, because we're going to talk about something that's on a completely new plane. So let's get started. So in order to really understand the Amazon opportunity, you really have to understand data. So we want to just spend a couple of minutes talking about how we really use data to find an in-market shopper. I feel like there's so much discussion around it, and people kind of tiptoe around the data and how to use data and how data works. So we want to just really kind of get down and dirty with you and discuss how data works and how we utilize it to find the in-market shopper. And then we're going to transition that knowledge over to the actual Amazon opportunity, because it is a very data-centric opportunity. And I'm going to turn it over to Chris, and he's going to talk about the efficacy of the data. How effective is the data? And give you some real-life examples of some in-market shopper audiences. And then finally, we're going to end with the newest opportunity and kind of bring it all together, how we're using the data, how we're using these in-market shopper audiences to target people on one of the largest media platforms out there, which is Amazon. So we talked about the way things used to be, the homepage takeover on Yahoo, run-of-site banners that had absolutely no targeting. Well, then we kind of moved into a new era, which was, you know, having to rely on websites that have content about cars or selling cars or car reviews, because they're the only people who we can identify as car buyers, right? You're a car buyer if you're looking at a website that has car reviews on it, or you're obviously a car buyer if you're looking at a website that has listings about selling cars. That was the old way, and that prevailed for many years. But now we have a new way, and the new way is that we can identify in-market buyers or shoppers as soon as they start to search, and we can track them across websites and across devices and really build a profile of who that not who that shopper is in a personally identifiable way, but what that person is looking at, where they're going, what kind of searches they're doing. We're identifying them, and then we can find them wherever they may be. So that leads us to this next slide that really brings home that point, which is an in-market shopper does not have to be on a car website to be valuable. They're that same person who's in market whether they're on a car website or any website that they want to be on. And the difference in price and reaching that same buyer on different websites is really the key to success. So this is where we're going to get. Just that I really don't want to get too granular, but I want to really show you what using different data sources together looks like to find an in-market shopper. So the data marketplace, there's tons of data that's being bought and sold all the time. And you guys probably know that for the kind of the targeting that you receive. So, you know, what we're doing is we're grabbing all these different pieces of data that shows us who's in market for a vehicle at this time, what type of vehicle they're in market for. And then we're even layering on data from the data logics world, which is that offline data, telling us where that person lives and what the credit card spending is like. So there's a lot of opportunity to layer this data and really hone in on the type of audience, the type of in-market audience that you're looking for. Are you looking for somebody who's in the market for a pickup truck? Are you looking for a family of 5 that's in the market for a mid-sized SUV? All this is available in this data marketplace where there's buying and selling of data all the time, sometimes at the aggregate level and sometimes at a more granular level. So now that you have this data, which is great, now you need to go out and find the people, right? Find these people that have been identified as in-market shoppers. So the demand-side platform allows agencies like us, and most agencies out there have a demand-side platform, to go out and into, you know, buying placements on individual websites would be crazy, the millions and millions of websites out there. So they get aggregated into these groups, essentially. They're essentially groups. So what the demand-side platform does is these groups are called ad exchanges. So we're able to use our programmatic buying, which is just mean automatic buying of placements on websites which are aggregated into the exchanges to find these people. So back in the day, you know, you had to buy each website separately. And then the websites got smart and said, if I'm part of an ad exchange, I can market my inventory a lot more effectively. And then the agencies got smart and said, if we can access multiple ad exchanges at one time and tell ad exchange A, we're willing to bid this much money on this much in-market shopper, and we're willing to bid this on this in-market shopper, then the whole thing kind of comes together. So that's really what the demand-side platform does, is it aggregates the websites together into ad exchanges, and it allows companies like us to access those ad exchanges and find those people and tell them, hey, we're willing to bid this much to get that person to our dealer's website. Now, we've gone a step further. We've created our own demand-side platform called AIM. We created it from the ground up, and it allows us to manage multiple in-market car buyer data sources and layer that data together. And it allows us to find those in-market shoppers wherever they may be and bring them to your website at the right cost per acquisition. So think about this as we're moving into the Amazon portion of what we're doing, because now we're talking about finding the right people. And the second part is finding where those people are. And think about where you spend the majority of your online time. Amazon is probably up there in the top 5. I'm going to pass it over to Chris.
Yeah, thanks, Beth. So with that in mind, I mean, there's so many multiple media platforms out there, and I got to say that, you know, we work with so many of the digital agencies across the board, and C4 Analytics by far has done a great job of taking all the open web platforms, the DSPs that Beth mentioned, as well as the registration-based platforms, and kind of combining them to find the right platform. And that's key, but the other component to that is also actually finding the right audience on the platforms. And at Oracle Data Cloud, what we kind of emphasize is kind of changing the mindset from, like in the past, it's always been about media planning, but really we're kind of saying there's actually an earlier starting point, and that's audience planning. You know, so first, you know, think audience for what we're calling the new road. It's to think audience first, and to kind of separate the new road from the old road. Actually, the old road is kind of like based on targeting by demographics. And it's kind of actually frightening about how that is commonly still practiced today, when there's so much more opportunities to really, if you separate the audience from the media, first decide who do you want to reach in terms of audience planning, and then decide the best medium or platform to find them on. So that's what we're going to kind of focusing on here, is the audience planning part initially. So Beth, you want to go to the next one? So once you ask that first questions of who do you want to reach, the second comes down to, what is the purpose of the campaign? You have to ask the right questions about, is this a new vehicle, a new car campaign, a used vehicle, for service marketing? There's all different types of campaigns the dealerships are executing out there. And in order to make sure that you reach the right audience, you have to ask the right questions of what the overall purpose of the campaign is. And, so which audiences are going to resonate with that specific campaign, which kind of leads this into this next slide of exactly why does Oracle Data Cloud even exist? And basically, Oracle Data Cloud, we're the ones that are the ones who are finding you buyers. So you ask the question in this case with the example here. So you're looking for people who is likely to purchase an Audi Q7. And the old road, the old way, looking at demographics is, yes, you can pinpoint women who are ages 18 to 49, or you can get a little bit more refined and say, okay, I want women 18 to 49 who are high-income moms with kids. And that's kind of the old way of doing it. It's still, you still have the shotgun approach, the spray and pray. But what the Oracle audiences allow you to do on the platforms like Amazon now is to identify women in market for an SUV. Their household has a history of purchasing Audi SUVs. They typically purchase, the household a new vehicle every 3 years, and they're currently 2.5 years into the current ownership of their current Audi. And obviously we get this information, from our sources, especially like IHS Markit, Polk. And at the same time, we can identify those people that are within 15 miles of an Audi dealership. So this is kind of like the new road to be more pinpoint targeting as opposed to the spray and pray. And that's kind of how Oracle Data Cloud, exists in this picture, because we can help you pinpoint those audiences. Again, start with the people and not the platforms. But again, once you start, after you determine your audience, then go to the platforms to see where that audience is available. And that's how we're kind of getting into this whole conversation about Amazon coming into the mix. You want to move to the next one there, Beth? Great. So this is kind of like a laundry list of the different types of retail-focused, automotive retail-focused audiences that Oracle Data Cloud provides. And these slides are available, so we won't go through every single one. But again, it depends on the purpose of the campaign and who you want to reach. So let's go to the next. We'll call it a couple of these slides, or a couple of these audiences as examples. And this one here, actually, I love the slide that Beth created, because we actually break out our audiences in terms of in-market model level shoppers and owner at model levels. But the distinction here in the automotive tier 3 space, I love this because it shows the different types of campaigns that a dealership wants to conduct and wants to focus on versus the automakers. So these retail-focused audiences allow you to pinpoint and get very granular with your specific types of campaigns. So, with dealerships, to owners, incentive offers, equity type positions, you can build audiences around, those purposes. Trade up, trade out, give the messaging about, we'll cover your last 3 payments, or, when you identify specific owners. Or, people are in markets, again, incentive-based, conquesting makes at the model level. And also, if a dealership has slow-moving inventory of a specific model, these granular audiences allow you to pinpoint people in market for those types of models. And you also see here in terms of the available platforms, it's Amazon as well as some of the other DSPs. But that's what's nice, is that you don't have to rely just on one platform. These are available across the board. And, the big part here, too, is that you don't have to do it through search only now. You have a lot more opportunities to reach, through the DSPs like Amazon and the others. But what's really nice is that Amazon used to be kind of clunky, and I can say that because we work closely with the Amazon people, the whole user interface. That has changed now, and the ability to reach the audiences and use the Amazon interface and all the different types of the DSP as well as the owned and operated audiences on Amazon, which Beth will go into later. They have made some significant improvements to make these specific audience types available to you as a retail advertiser. So 2 more examples here, and then we'll turn it back over to Beth. First is, when we first started in this space, heavily with Oracle, heavily addressed about 3 years ago, we were always saying, hey, can you get me households that are coming off lease? And we had a basic kind of a lease affinitive audience through our friends at IHS Markit. But over the last 2 years, we've really refined that. So now we can, through IHS Markit and other sources like V12 data, we can actually get households, identify households with leases expiring within 3, 6, or 12 months. And again, that's what's so nice about being able to pinpoint these households as opposed to the spray and pray tactics. And then the next slide, this is for service marketing. And I'm actually here in Orlando, Florida at the FCA Mopar event. And so for dealership service marketing efforts, it's amazing how they don't realize now these audiences available to them, and specifically the Visa and Mastercard data. So we actually have households that are high spenders or frequent users of places like Jiffy Lube or Valvoline Express or auto parts stores. And we have the ability to kind of allow the dealership to do an intercept campaign, combining that with the IHS Markit owner data. So you can actually see, like in the 3rd bullet point down there, it's exactly what this is about. If you had a Ford dealership in Dallas, Texas, and you want to reach every single Ford F-150 owner and that's using an independent, this data allows you to do that now. And this data is now available on Amazon. And that's the exciting part here. So Beth, hopefully that kind of gave an understanding of what audiences are available. I'll turn it back over to you, but we're very excited to be going down this path with C4 Analytics.
Thanks, Chris. That was a really great explanation. And I think that I'm hoping that people are starting to understand that audience first and identifying those in-market car buyers, car shoppers, identifying those people who have been utilizing the independent service stations, that's possible now. So now we're talking about a new platform to reach those people. And why Amazon? So why Amazon? And the reason is fish where the fish are, right? They have over 196 unique monthly visitors, 196 million. It's amazing. Their quarterly revenue for Q1 of 2018 in advertising was over $2 billion. And that Q1 advertising revenue of 2018 was an increase of 139% year over year. It is estimated that by 2020, Amazon will be the 3rd largest advertising platform behind Google and Facebook. And the reason is simply they have the audience. And now, obviously, we don't want to reach everyone on Amazon. We only want to reach the people on Amazon who are in the market for what we're selling. And it's the Oracle audiences overlaid on top of the Amazon platform that gives us that targeted advertising opportunity. And that's why we're here today, Chris and I, talking about how to merge these 2 fantastic opportunities together for a brand new way to reach in-market car shoppers. So just to put it in the most basic of terms, for the longest time, Amazon has had a walled garden. So you would have to go through Amazon to advertise on Amazon. And now they've now set up a self-service platform where you can access the Amazon platform and overlay the Oracle data. So as a very simple explanation or example, a customer visits several car sites. They look at an Accord and a Camry. Oracle Data Cloud grabs them, tags them. They are now an in-market shopper. And when that person is on Amazon shopping for whatever they're shopping for, they can get an ad, a Camry ad, from ABC Toyota. So it's, and I would like to suggest that you think back to the days when Facebook started advertising to in-market shoppers. People thought, no way, Facebook, people go there to, you know, look at what people are doing and sharing their food and all kinds of crazy stuff. And then it became a viable advertising platform to the point where it became probably second only to Google. Well, this is kind of what's happening right now with Amazon. They are opening up the opportunity to reach people who are on Amazon, spending their time on Amazon, shopping on Amazon, on their Fire tablets, streaming video on Amazon, to reach them as in-market car shoppers, just like what happened at Facebook when Facebook opened it up to that third-party data. So these are some of the placements that are available on the Amazon.com network, and they're different pieces to the owned and operated part of Amazon. Amazon has its own DSP, which has the ability to reach out into you know, hundreds of thousands of websites across the web, but they also have the ability to reach into their own and operated properties, one of them being Amazon.com, which is what I'm showing you the placements of now. The other opportunity is actually on the Fire tablet. So as you know, that's another owned and operated Amazon property. It's a 100% viewable ad with animation. You can use Amazon first-party data to target users, or we can use, obviously, the Oracle Data Cloud to target users. The second one, which I'm very excited about, is actually advertising on Amazon Fire TV. And the reason is because this is essentially a television ad that you can click on. And I mean, think about how many television ads that we run that there's no call to action. There's no way that somebody who's interested in what they see can actually make an action. Well, in this case, we're running, you know, a pre-roll or ad that actually can be clicked on. So this is another one of those opportunities that's opened up inside. This is a video opportunity, obviously, because it's pre-roll, and it's inside the Amazon owned and operated world. So let's say you're starting to stream a movie on Amazon Prime. Boom, because you're an in-market car shopper, you've been identified by the Oracle Data Cloud as an in-market car shopper. You're going to see a particular pre-roll ad, and at the end of that ad, you're going to have the opportunity to get more information or learn how. So that's really, it really is a television ad with the ability to have a call to action. Another opportunity that Amazon has for us is you've heard a lot about how your data, you know, is the best data, right? The data that you have in your dealership, your DMS data, your CRM data. Well, we now have the opportunity to reach your customers on Amazon. So the same kind of thing as the Facebook custom match opportunity and the same kind of thing as the Google custom match opportunity, we can now upload audiences and reach your customers with a particular message on Amazon. And then Amazon itself is actually has the opportunity to identify in-market shoppers as well. So there's the Amazon in-market audiences as well as the Oracle Data Cloud in-market audiences. And you can mix and match those as well. And I also just want to kind of let you know, Amazon is really working hard to become a player in the automotive space. So they've opened something called the Amazon Garage, and the Amazon Garage allows people to enter all the information about their current vehicle. And that way, Amazon can recommend the correct parts and the right service. So because they know that you have a 2013 Toyota Camry LE, then if you have a headlight go out, you can order that bulb on Amazon through the Amazon Garage, because they will match your vehicle type with the correct headlight bulb. So that really allows that kind of customization and personalization that you're so used to with Amazon. The second kind of space that they've launched is Amazon Vehicles. And it's kind of just a repository of information to learn more about different models, different makes. This is actually where Hyundai has launched their virtual showroom. And they were the first ones to do so in July of this year. And we're pretty sure that there are going to be other OEMs launching virtual showrooms inside this Amazon Vehicles world, which, like I said, is kind of just a very information-rich environment where people can learn about makes and models and that type of thing. And finally, obviously, Amazon's forte is in selling things. So thirdly, they have kind of opened up Amazon Autos as the ability to, as a storefront for accessories and parts. And this is something that we are starting to play around with in terms of being able to get your SKUs for your parts up into the Amazon Autos section, so that it's another way to get the part sales up. So these three things, these three kind of ventures, along with the ability to reach people on Amazon who are in the market for vehicles using the Oracle Data Cloud audiences, really is the beginning of something huge. And we just wanted to be the first ones to let you know that this was out there. And if you are interested, if you are a current client of C4 Analytics, please reach out to your account team. They've been briefed on this. They know how to take action. If you're not a C4 Analytics client and you'd like to be one, please visit us at c4analytics.com and give us some information. We'll get right back to you. Or you can visit us at booth 1118. And if you want to chat with Chris a little bit more about the audiences, his email is right here at chris.marshall@oracle.com. And that, Chris, I'm going to turn it over to you for some last comments.
Oh, thanks, Beth. Obviously, Oracle Data Cloud will be at Digital Dealer as well as driving sales and the JD Power event. So we're going to be busy in Vegas the next couple of weeks. Then, of course, we'll be at the C4 Analytics booth to answer any questions, but always available to you. And Beth, we really do appreciate the partnership. Thank you.
So do we. And thanks, everyone, very much for your time. I tried to keep it under 30 minutes because I know your time is valuable. Once again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Thanks very much.